How's it going, guys? Julian Bradley here from themusicalear.com, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you about one of the most important things I could ever talk to you about: ear protection. As musicians, the most important thing we have is our hearing. 100 years ago, we weren't having this much hearing loss. Really young people in their 20s are already having significant damage to their hearing. And in this video, I'm basically going to list 9 things which damage hearing. These are things which I avoid on a daily basis. So we're going to get straight in, enjoy this video, and I'll talk to you again on the other side. Okay, so number 1 on the list is in-ear headphones. These are the earbud style headphones which actually go into the ear, and these have sort of become the norm for earphones these days. They come with every smartphone, every MP3 player. I actually had a friend who worked at the BBC and he did hearing tests for people who worked there, and he told me that he could always tell if someone listened to music on these in-ear headphones. He said there was just a certain type of damage or hearing loss in certain places. So personally, I never listen to music on these in-ear earbud type headphones. What I do use is these outer ear type headphones, anything like this. And the difference is that with these types of headphones, the sound actually can escape. Whereas with the in-ear headphones, it gets stuck in there because it's airtight, and the damage is so much worse. Number 2 is avoid winding the windows down when you're driving, especially on a freeway, especially at high speeds. This is known to damage your hearing. Personally, I love driving with the windows down. However, I'll limit it to about 5 minutes max, 10 minutes max. And I certainly wouldn't do a long road trip with the windows down, because this buffeting really damages your hearing as well. And if you have a sort of drop top type car, these are especially bad because obviously the whole trip you're just exposed to all this wind noise. Okay, number 3, this is a big one, prescription drugs. There is a long list of over 200 prescription drugs which are commonly prescribed to patients which damage your hearing. So the takeaway from this is to read up on any drug that you're prescribed. So that is number 3, a long list of prescription drugs are known to damage hearing. Okay, so number 4 on the list is smoking. Smoking is known to damage hearing, and the reason, as I understand it, is that anything that sort of clogs the arteries or interferes with the blood that has to get to the very tiny hairs on your eardrum, that over time will lead to hearing loss. And really, I'll add in there fast food, anything that clogs that blood and stops it from getting to the hairs on your eardrum, that over time is likely to damage hearing. So number 5 is your own instrument. That's right, musical instruments are actually very loud, nearly all instruments. So I know this is obvious with certain instruments like percussion and drums, snare drum is very loud. However, it's also true for violin, brass instruments, and even piano. Personally, when I play piano, I tend to hold down the left pedal, the damper, which just makes everything quieter. And I'm always monitoring how loud the instrument is in the room. So if your instrument is on the loud side, then consider using a mute. If you're a violin player, you can use a mute, or a brass player, you can use a mute. Because most of the time when you practice your instrument, it doesn't need to be loud. You might be practicing technique or scale type stuff. So that is number 5. Your instrument can be damaging your hearing. Okay, so in at number 6, we have machinery. I'm talking most man-made machinery these days, things like electric drills, electric saws. If I'm going to do any of these things, I'll always put in earplugs. But even things like vacuuming, again, I'll put in earplugs. If you're in the restroom and you use one of those air dryers, often these are too loud as well. If you have to use one, then put your hands down lower, and I find that it's significantly less noisy. So that is number 6, man-made machinery. Now in at number 7 is sirens. I'm talking about police sirens, ambulance sirens, fire engine sirens. Anytime I hear a siren coming down the street, I'll put my fingers in my ears. I've been doing this for 15 years. It's no big deal. Your hearing is very important, and these sirens are much too loud for human hearing, and that is number 7. In at number 8, we have impacts to the head. I'm talking about sports especially, which cause impacts to the head, things like boxing, probably American football, I'm guessing, certainly martial arts as well. Any strikes to the head can sort of dislocate those tiny little bones that you have in your eardrum. So for me, nothing is worth damaging your hearing. So that is number 8, impacts to your head. And finally, number 9 is an obvious one, loud music. Any public venue you go to, whether it's a bar, a nightclub, a concert, and even movie theatres these days, the norm is to crank up the music way too loud for human hearing. So as a musician, you have to take control of the situation. You have to take your own ear protection when you're going to these venues. But that is number 9, loud music. Okay, so now let's take a quick look at what I use for ear protection. This isn't a promotion of these products, this is just what I've used for the last 15 years. Really the main point here is just that you get something. So I have 2 types of ear protection that I use. First of all is these kind of ear protectors. They happen to be called Docs Pro Plugs. Again, I'm sure there's lots of other things out there that do the same thing. Now these are not for complete ear protection. All these do is they take off probably about 10 or 15 decibels. And I'll just put these in when I'm at a bar, which isn't often, but any place that I am where it's sort of slightly louder, but you can still hear people talking quite clearly, so that's why these are useful. And then the other thing I do is just a generic, these types of earplugs, the standard ones. And what I tend to do is I'll take 3 of these and I'll put them in this box and I'll carry both types of ear protection with me. Why 3? Well, the reason is I actually have 3 ears. That's not actually the reason. The reason is that often you'll open this and you'll drop one. That's something I've learned from many years of doing this. So that's why I carry this with me. 2 protectors for just mild situations and then 3 for if it gets really loud. So thank you very much for watching. I really hope this video helped you. If it did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you have a musician friend who'd also benefit from hearing this information, please share this video because it's very important information. Now, if you're really serious about protecting your hearing, I've actually put together a complete ebook guide. This is a free ebook where I go into 23 things that will damage your hearing. This is a more complete version of this video, and you can download that at the link below. It's absolutely free. So thank you very much for watching. I'm Julian Bradley. Protect your hearing like nothing else, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.